In today's episode of Are You Smarter Than a Sex Worker? We're going to play a little game, and I'm going to call it Get a Load of This Guy. I am going to describe a inquiry that I got from a potential client, and you, the smart people, are going to tell me whether or not I should get a load of that guy. So let's get into it. Okay, so the client in question had reached out to me, and he did so using my booking form, which means that he did provide me with real world information and a picture of his ID. He was respectful in the inquiry when he reached out. I went on to screen him, and when I did screen him, I found 15 different blacklist reports. And also, I did, use the real world information. So outside of just what a bunch, like 15 other hookers said, I was able to see that he was from an affluent area around DC. And honestly, I know that the area that he is from pretty well because one of my best customers ever lived down there, and I used to go down there and see him a lot. But anyways, so I know he has some money. Another thing, when I responded to this inquiry, was that he could not pay a deposit because he was in the middle of a divorce, but he would be happy to pay this deposit in person. In reaching out, what should I do? Should I get a load of this guy? Little disclaimer here, okay? So normally, in any other circumstance, with that many different conflicting reports from other girls, and the fact that he was incapable of paying the deposit electronically and had to do it in person, I would tell this person to fuck all the way off. However, I did not. And this is just like a freak circumstance here, okay? I am not advocating for this behavior. Don't do this. But yes, I did, in fact, get a load of that guy. And why? Why did I determine that he was safe to see, you ask? It is because the 15 different blacklist reports, okay, they all came from the girl saying that he didn't want to pay the deposit. Well, guess what? He offered to pay the deposit in person, okay? And I happened to be at work at that exact second. And if you watched my channel, you should know that, I do in fact work in a dive bar strip club in addition to escorting. So it was like there was like nothing really for me to lose by just saying, hey, if you really want to pay the deposit, double the deposit, show up at my job. I'm here for the next hour. And he's like, cool, I'm 10 minutes away. And really, I was just entertaining it for the plot. But he did, in fact, show up 10 minutes later and paid me double my normal deposit. In addition to, the blacklist reports were also, like, there was one girl that she had charged a lower rate, but she said that he was a good client, and then the other girls dogpiled on her and were rate shaming her, and then shaming him for seeing a girl that charged a lower rate, which it's like, how does that make any sense? He paid the rate that she said that she wanted, so how would that make him a bad person? Because he saw her for the rate that she wanted. Mind-blowing. Yeah, so there was a lot of these reviews were literally just discourse back and forth between the ethics of seeing somebody that charges a lower price than them, and then them class dragging that girl. But no, he showed up. We had a couple drinks sitting at the bar together. He paid me double my deposit. And then when I got off of work, I came home, I showered, got dressed, and then I met him at another bar, had some drinks, and he was a really good client. So yeah, normally I would never advocate for seeing somebody with 15 different reports on the blacklist that didn't want to pay my deposit electronically, but the stars aligned in the exact way where, yes, I did in fact get a load of that guy. He was awesome. 10 out of 10 would see him again. Which I think another thing that we can all take away from this video, and especially the people that wanted to show up in my other video about the blacklist, like crying like their life is over because they've been blacklisted, I think that this shows us all that the blacklist is not an all-encompassing godlike figure Like, we read the reports and we do with that information what we will do if we feel like it. So yeah, normally these all would be things that would make me say, hey, I don't want to see that guy. But in his specific circumstance and at that exact moment, yeah, I would let 15 blacklist reports slide because the vibe was right. In other situations, they screen completely fine, and I'm like, there's just like, and they don't do anything really like disrespectful, but I'm just like, I don't like your vibe through the phone, no. And it's worked out for me. So yeah.